Hey everyone, CT2V rulebook time. Okay, so let's see here. Last time we left off at the end of page 13. I'm lying. No, I'm not. We ended at the end of page 13. So today we're going to be at the top of page 14, and we're going to go over the divisions of Wrangler, Maverick, Bronkbuster, and Trail Boss. Okay, so if you have competed in any kind of other obstacle association, Wrangler would be equal to a novice, Maverick is equal to an intermediate, and then Bronkbuster would be your amateur or your non-pro, and then Trail Boss would be your open class, okay, or your professional. So let's go through what it says for Wrangler. It says a person shall be considered a novice or beginner if they have limited experience with equine. A novice rider may or may not be able to post a trot, but they can trot without bouncing. A Wrangler rider cannot be a judge in any other equine competitive association. So if you're good enough to be a judge, then you just cannot be a Wrangler, okay? All right, hold on. Something is, I'm still live. Okay, I don't know what you got to see, but I tried to dismiss something, and then, anyways, my screen changed. All right, next thing is Maverick, an intermediate rider. A rider that still may lack some horsemanship skills, but they are not a beginner or a novice. A Maverick rider can comfortably transition between gaits. Cantering may or may not be a skill that is comfortable for them, but they are able to do it with basic understanding of leads. A Maverick has not directly or indirectly earned money or for training equine or lessons in the last 5 years. Okay, so that's the magic number, is 5 years. And I know a lot of times if people quit doing lessons, then they've just got to, time has got to pass, okay, and then they can come back into those divisions. So we've had people before that used to be instructors, but it was like 10 years ago. They can come back into those classes, okay? I know myself as an instructor, sometimes it's rough because, like, and some associate, I am a pro, right? Because I do lessons and I teach clinics. Well, what that means for me is in some associations, I'd have to be like riding my horse bareback, jumping barrels that are on fire and stuff, right? Like, I ain't ready for all that. So, anyways, I do like that you can come back down if time passes. Bronkbuster, okay? So Bronkbuster is an advancing intermediate rider. And what I have found, okay, so in CT2V, my judges do not know what divisions the competitors are in, okay? So the competitors, there's two different ranch horsemanship patterns. There's a modified and a non-modified. Well, there's a ton of divisions that are in that modified ranch horsemanship pattern. They're all doing the same one. And there's a ton of divisions that are doing non-modified, okay? Well, my judge doesn't know if you're in Trail Boss or in Bronkbuster, which is really great because you get like honest feedback. And what we have found is that our Bronkbusters typically outscore our Trail Boss, which makes complete sense because a lot of times people, a competitor will stay in that Bronkbuster class because they're not, a professional, and then they just have that one horse that they've really developed. Whereas a trainer is taking on other people's horses and they're not getting to spend the time that they typically would on just one horse, right? Their time is spread out a little bit. So anyways, we have a couple of Bronkbusters that have scored like the highest, they scored the highest scores of the competition. So that's pretty common. I always just assumed that our Trail Boss would have the highest scores. So that was kind of fun for me to realize as a host. All right, so Bronkbuster is a rider too advanced for the Maverick division but does not desire to ride in the Trail Boss division. A bronc buster has not directly or indirectly earned money for training equine or lessons in the last 5 years. Okay, so some people might be like, what does it mean by directly or indirectly? So I have indirectly. Indirectly, well, directly is boom, you take a lesson, you pay me, boom, that's direct. Okay, indirect would be that like you're working for a barn. So like if we hired a trainer here at Von Holten Ranch and people paid Von Holten Ranch, but then we paid them, that's indirect. Okay, we have people that try to get around that, and I'm like, we ain't playing that game. That's making an income indirectly. Okay, so anyways, so here's my thoughts on these Wrangler, Maverick, Bronc Buster, okay, is, man, if you come in here and you're competing in Bronc Buster and you're blowing people out of the water, go ahead and step up into Trail Boss, okay? This isn't an association anything like the AQHA, where you're going to have these just monster Donkey Kong divisions with all these like fancy horses. So, you know, move up to our Trail Boss division and allow other people to, you know, be in the other ones, and then you can, you don't have to stay there. If you move up into Trail Boss and you're like, whoa, I have no business here, you can move back down. Trail Boss is open. It's not once you compete in there, you're stuck in there. No, you can move back to where you qualify at, okay? My Maverick has been one of my smaller classes in the past. And it doesn't matter what age you are for Wrangler, by the way. Like we have people in their 40s, 50s, 60s, 70s that are riding Wrangler. You know, they've never had formal lessons. You know, I can tell you from my first ever horse competition, which was in 2013. Oh man, I'm getting text messages coming in because I'm on my phone. 2013 was my first horse competition, other than like some fun shows whenever I was a kid. I thought I was the best horseback rider in my family. I did not know that I was a novice until I went to a horse competition that I'm like, oh wow, I'm a big fat novice, okay? So it's okay to be an adult and be a novice, okay? But if you know, our buckle series is 4 competitions, and we take the best 3 out of the 4. Let's say you come to one in April and you're like, I'm a novice. I know I'm a novice, or maybe a Maverick, and you just freaking annihilate everybody in your division. Maybe you need to move up. Maybe you come in here and you're just like I was, like, I'm the best rider in my family and I'm doing pretty good. And then like if you competed in something and you were just bottom of the barrel, maybe you can move down, okay? So what's really nice, hey, come on in. What's really nice is you don't have to be stuck. You know, you can move around a little bit and we can adjust your divisions. So, Trail Boss. Hey. My assistant just came in. Here's Brenda. Hey. I'm on a Facebook Live. I've got you a list of things right over there, like it's on that little notepad. All right, here we go. Trail Boss. Yeah, I think that's it. Open to anyone at any age. Okay, so you could be a kid. It's okay, I can find it. I'll find it in a little bit. You can be any age can do Trail Boss, okay? Earns money teaching lessons or training equine, okay? So if you're making money, you got to move up to Trail Boss. But you could be like, well, I haven't made money in 2 or 3 years. Yeah, you still got to be there because we got a 5-year time limit on that, okay? All right, the next class is I love this class. It's one of my favorite classes that we offer in CT2V, and it is amazing. And a lot of people use this all sorts of different ways for themselves, okay? This is our schooling class, okay? So it's a training division. So it says open to any level of rider. So you can be the worst of the worst or the best of the best and get to be in this class, okay? So this division is designed to help train your equine or to try the competition, whatever you need to use it for. Some people use it just because they can't stay for the whole thing and they just want to get going with their horse, or maybe they're doing it just so they can have photos. If you've got a horse for sale and you don't want to compete in anything, you can come do this schooling class. So it says you will receive judges' feedback, but will not be eligible for prizes. We ain't gonna give you nothing except for numbers from the judge, okay? And it's gonna cost you the same amount of money. Competitors can do schooling in conjunction to Foundations 2, because in our Foundations class, the difference between Foundations 1 and Foundations 2 was Foundations, well, you'll learn this later, we haven't got to it in this rule book unless you're returning. Foundations 1 is an in-hand class, and it means that the course has not been ridden. Well, if you ride the course, like the obstacles, and then afterwards we do our Foundations 2 class, well, they can still compete in schooling, but then be eligible for Foundations 2 for like our buckles and our ribbons and stuff. So schooling, here's all sorts of people that, if you want to, you can start on the other stuff. Yeah. Oh, okay. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So schooling. Okay. Here's perfect people for schooling. Okay, is a professional. Okay. So let's say, like I told you, I have to ride in the pro division because I'm a clinician. Well, let's say that I've got a new horse that is not a pro level horse, right? Well, I've got to get that thing rolling. I got to get going with that horse. So you can never recreate the nervousness of a competition. Not whenever you're training, you're just not going to be as nervous, right? Even if you have people come and watch you, that fear and that anticipation and that bubble guts, right? You could not fake the bubble guts. So the schooling class lets you, get going on your horse to see if they're going to have that relationship with you that you've been working on in a competition series, right? In a competitive environment. So it helps my pro riders to develop horses. Then you have people that have never competed before. They don't know if they want to do this, okay? They can use the schooling class and just see because they'll get scores, and you'll have all that feedback, and you'll see where you would have placed in that division. So another way to use schooling, and you can do schooling in ranch horsemanship, obstacles, or trail. You could do all three. You could do one or the other. Let's say, now this happened before. There was a mother and daughter pair, and the mother hit the ground, right? The horse was being naughty. Well, the daughter, a little bit more athletic, right? Just happens because of maturation. Anyways, well, they didn't want that horse to get away with that because that's just the starting of bad behaviors. So then, but they wanted it to do it in a competitive environment, because that's whenever the horse acted up, was whenever it's in a competition environment. So the daughter was able to enter that horse into the schooling class after the mother came off. So it was good just to, make sure that the training did not regress. So there you go. Now then, hey, just to clarify though, if you were competing, then the first time that horse is on the course, that one is going to be scored and then put into the competitive placement. And then the second run would be the schooling class. We're not playing that junk where you get to run the horse on the course, and then the next time it runs the course, then it gets the points. We're not down with that. I know what you're doing. So we're not doing that. Okay? All right. Rest of page 15 is advancing to the next division based upon rider skill level. Okay, so here we go. Division eligibility is up to the host. This is prior to someone competing at the national championship. After someone has competed in the national championship, then their placement will be used to indicate the competitor's appropriate division. Okay, so there's that. Next thing, national championship placement. If there are 6 entries, the first place person must move up unless specified per division. Okay, so we're not going to make our first place youth competitor move up because that's age dependent. You know, the Bronc Busters don't have to move up specifically, but I think I'm going to start really trying to ask some of my Bronc Busters to move up into Trail Boss. Next thing, you know what we got to do is we added several divisions this year, but as we grow, we'll add more divisions. There just needs to be, instead of just 4 divisions based on the rider skill level, then it would be nice if we had 5, because it gives those people just another place to filter out, right? So the next thing, CT2V CEO. Oh, okay, there we go. My phone's trying to tell me it's low on energy, and I'm like, I don't care, so am I. Anyways, the CT2V CEO or advisory board, the right is reserved to place competitors into appropriate divisions at the end of the competition season, regardless of placing. So if we see something where you're just blowing people out of the water and then you don't want to move up, we're not playing that game. We're trying to keep it like a healthy environment. And we're not just here for you to win, okay? We don't want to see you lose. We never want to see anybody lose, but we also want to have a fun environment that is just evenly placed, you know, just trying to do what's best for the group, okay? Then, next bullet, it says, please do not ride in a lower class when you are more advanced, okay? It is not good for the association. Please push yourself. So, I personally hate sandbaggers, okay? If you are, you know, being like, oh, like you've competed for 25 years in something or 20 years, and then you come over here and you're like, I'm a novice in this. I don't like all that. I don't like all that. Like, compete where you're at. You know, that would be like, you know, well, you might not know this. I was in martial arts, and so I'm a 3rd degree black belt, right? Well, if I went from Taekwondo to karate, I would not go and compete in a lower class division. I'm still going to compete in my upper division because I've got experience, and, you know, so that would be like the same concept, okay? So, yeah, please do not ride in a lower class when you are more advanced. There's no honor in taking candy from babies, okay? Just gonna put that out there. All right, so that right there concludes this week. I'm trying to do this every Tuesday, and today's a Wednesday because my head is jumbled up because it's wintertime and I don't know what day of the week it is. So, I'm doing the best I can. All right, guys, so there we go. We went through Wrangler, Maverick, Bronc Buster, Trail Boss schooling, and then how to advance up to the next level. Next time, we will be on page 16, where we'll be going over judging key points and our scoring range. And I will see you then on Tuesday. Hopefully, I'll know what day of the week it is.